Did you know there is a way to do infinite damage? Or which is better, food or water? That's because these are just 2 of the 25 best tips and tricks in Piggy Intercity that you definitely didn't know about. As we all know by now, the bottom of every weapon has its own cooldown bar. So this will usually mean that you will have to strategically plan your hits. But I found a method where you can effectively remove that. Performing a 2-category spam allows you to hit repeatedly by alternating between 2 weapons, which allows for one weapon to cool down while the other one is used to kill. This basically makes your damage infinite and allows you to kill swarms of infected like it's nothing. If you get a gun and you want to use it the most effectively, the bullets actually have no gravity attached to them, meaning that you can hit anyone up to a certain distance simply by aiming at them. However, all guns have a noticeable gun spray, so your shots won't be 100% consistent, which you can lessen by upgrading the accuracy attribute. One very useful tip is that the day and night cycle is every 10 minutes in real time, starting and ending at the digit of 5. For example, if it's 12:05 PM, it will become night at 12:15 PM. So if you're ever in a pickle, you can always remember that the next day is 10 minutes away. Most players also don't know that there is fast travel in the game. By going to the map and clicking the location icons from popular locations, you can instantly travel between them. An underused mechanic is also the ability to block by holding down right click, which cuts your damage taken to 1/3 of the original damage. But if you go to the main menu and settings, there's a few things you can play around with here. We can first of all change where our health bar position is by toggling this lever here, and also change our dynamic field of view, which is when you run, your camera pulls back. And finally, you can either have a permanent shift lock toggled on by turning on this button. A hidden mechanic is that running out gives noise, which attracts the infected, so if you want to avoid them, you could always just walk or crouch around them. There are currently 2 types of chests you can get in the game: the red chests and the green chests. The green chests give out only rations and supplies, while the red chests can give out armor and weapons. The green chests, however, can be opened up again every 30 minutes, while the red chests can only be opened up once. So if you're out exploring and running low on rations, then go back to a familiar green chest to see if it restocked. Talking about green and red chests, every red chest will be the same for every player, so any fancy loot or armor found by another player, you can also just go to that same location and get it for yourself. Killing NPCs and infected does give you extra XP and coins, but they do not drop any weapons or armor, so the best option 99% of the time if you just want to survive is to simply run. A useful fact to know is that none of the maps actually obscured in the map section, meaning that the entire playable area is already visible at the start of the game, so you can use this map to plan your moves to even areas you've never visited. Another underrated tip is if you pin the map in the main map menu, it creates a little mini map at the top right of your screen. The map also doesn't include any of the mini locations like camps or chests, so you need to make sure that you check every barren nook and cranny to manually get these special items. If you did not know, you can actually edit the accessory colors by pressing edit in the items menu. Fall damage in this game is also very brutal, so make sure you don't fall down from even a 2-story building or else you'll most likely die. And when you die as well, you lose all of your food items and consumables and have a 5-second invincibility period indicated with the gold shield at the top right of your health bar. If you want to change your species, you can find Aisha the alligator in Shadewood and ask if you want your appearance changed. If you ever have any regrets on the initial clothes you put on your character, you can go to Debbie in the fort and get all other clothing options found in the character create screen. In the attributes section, the max level within the entire game is 50, so you can't max them all out, so be particularly careful with how you manage your attributes. The most useful ones early game is extra inventory space followed by extra hotbar slots. You can also interact with vending machines throughout the map to give you sodas, which replenishes 1/4 of your thirst bar for 8 coins, which is honestly a pretty good deal. There is currently no quantifiable way of telling how much damage a weapon does, but you can check how much each weapon sells for and determine the damage per second value compared to other weapons there. However, the best melee weapon, confirmed by minitoon himself, is the katana. When traveling around the map, it's always better to take water than food, because your thirst bar depletes a lot faster than your hunger. If you want to know which team you should join or interested in Piggy lore, there are notes and radio messages around the map to give you better insight on what the teams are really like behind the scenes or some context into the history of Avalia. And finally, if you have any complaints with this game or this video, you could always just press the feedback button.